I consider myself to be super fortunate. When I left home as a young adult and was starting life on my own, for whatever reason, I had some friends and some mentors that were 10 or 20 years older than me, and they shared with me some habits that they and their family knew that I didn't know, that helped them to create wealth and help them to succeed in life. And today I'm going to share 12 of those with you, and I hope you find them as helpful as I did. And be sure to stay to the end, because the last one, I promise, is the one that has the most impact for all of us. Okay, the first one is the rule of R's, and I've never seen this anywhere on YouTube, but it's super important. The rule of R's is wealthy people, people that have relationships, people that are networking, people that know how to get things done through other people and get people on their side to help them achieve their goals. Wealthy people are much more interested in one R versus another R. You know, many of us in life are interested in being right when we have conversations with our friends, but wealthy people are much more interested in the relationship. They're more interested in relationship than being right, and I can tell you that has paid big dividends in my life, so I'm super grateful to have known that. Another tip is they know the difference between destructive debt, which is debt that, you know, credit card debt is destructive debt 99% of the time. High interest rate car loans for cars that maybe you can't otherwise afford. That's a depreciating asset. That loan is destructive debt versus debt that is productive. Productive debt is maybe the mortgage for your house. Productive debt is reasonable debt for education, for your undergrad in particular. Productive debt might be a little bit of debt for your company that's already cash flow positive. So knowing the difference between productive debt and destructive debt. The next one is paying yourself first. Understanding that, you know, when you buy things on impulse, when you spend more money than you have, and now all of a sudden you've got credit card debt and you're paying somebody else, you know, 15 to 28% interest. Think about that. How many of us would love to get 15 to 28% on our money, right? All of us. And that's what we're giving our credit card companies. And you know what? We got to quit doing that. And if you're doing it now, one way to effectively earn 15 to 30% on your money is to quit spending money on your credit card and get that credit card paid off, because not paying that is kind of the same as earning it. Another one is having patience. Again, like for a car, if you want to buy an expensive car, well, first, you know, do you really need an expensive car? But I can tell you, you probably don't want to have a loan on an with expensive debt. But just having patience. I told a story in a previous video. If you're interested in it, I'll give a link to it here. But when I was a kid, my house got robbed. And we went without a dining room table for at least 2 years, probably 3 years. My father was a soda truck driver, so he would deliver soda to the various convenience stores in town. And he borrowed, this is back when there were wooden crates that bottles would be put into, stored in, and would be transported back and forth, and there were returns. Our dining room table was a couple of those wooden cartons with a piece of plywood on it, and our dining room tables were those wooden cartons as well, put up on side that we sat on. And you know what? My parents had the patience to wait until they could pay cash for new furniture and used furniture, and that was a really important that was a really important lesson that I learned from them. Okay, number 6 is understanding the importance of investing in yourself, of leveling up your skills so that you can get raises, so that you're sought after in your industry and you can get promotions and make more money, and just level up your skills, learn new skills and get better at your existing skills. Doesn't mean you got to sign up for somebody's, you know, $10,000 infomercial class. I like to use the analogy, it's like jab, 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 hook, to use like the boxer's analogy. And for me, that's the jab, jab, jab is all the free information out there, right? In today's world, there's really no reason to spend a lot of money for information. You've got Audible books, you've got books from the library, you've got podcasts, you've got YouTube videos. And after doing all of that, if you're like, I'm really passionate about it, now I want to transform my life, I want to actually level up, that's where, frankly, I pay for courses. I'm happy to pay $500, $1,000, even a couple $1,000 if it transforms me. But I'm not going to pay that kind of money just for information, because frankly, I can get that, in a $20 book on Amazon. So book, podcast, YouTube, particularly my channel. By the way, if you're enjoying my channel, give me a like. And only after that do I pay for a course. Okay. Number 7 is being careful who you spend your time with, right? We become the 6 people that we spend most of our time with. So really think about, are the people that you're hanging out with, are they encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, or are they kind of bringing out some of the worst characteristics? We all have parts of our personality that aren't our strength. And speaking of not being our strength, another habit that wealthy people tend to do is they understand they need to focus on their strengths and really double down on our strengths. And this was a big one for me. Early on, I was trying to solve my weaknesses, and I was trying to overcome my weaknesses. And now I'm going to be 59 here in a couple weeks. My weaknesses are what my weaknesses are. If I haven't fixed them by now, they're going to be super hard to fix. Doesn't mean you shouldn't give up trying, but really double down on your strengths, because that's what's going to move the needle. That's what's going to allow you to make more money in the future than today. The other thing is thinking about, as you do get raises, as you do make more money, really balancing out current you and future you, right? Maybe you split it 50-50. Spend half of the money, a little bit of lifestyle creep. Maybe you go out to eat more often, or you take a nicer vacation with your family and spouse. Lifestyle creep. But also some money, set some money aside. I think the right mix is at least 50-50, 50 for your future self. And your future self is gonna thank you when you're my age, if you're not already my age. Okay. And I promise that the last 3 are going to be the most powerful ones. Before I get there, I've got to share one. This is not one that a friend shared, but I heard an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the interviewer was asking Arnold, frankly, Arnold's a super impressive guy, and they were asking him, how do you get all this stuff done? And he's like, look, we all have the same number of hours in the day. And so the interviewer was like, okay, so you sleep 8 hours and you do that. And Arnold was like, no. I don't sleep 8 hours. I sleep 6 hours. And the interviewer was like, well, how do you do that? And he says, I sleep faster. So kind of tongue in cheek, sleep faster. I actually think sleep is really important. So make sure to give yourself plenty of sleep, but if you can, maybe sleep a little faster. Okay. The top 3 here, and the last one's going to be super important, and that is your fitness and your health. Focus on your fitness and your health. You're not going to be able to succeed in business. You're not going to be able to enjoy your money if your fitness and your health goes, right? So invest the time. I know when I have a stressful day, boy, if I can get out for a quick jog, sometimes during lunch, if I've got a busy day and I know I've got something stressful, I'll try to get out for a quick run, even if it's only 12 or 15 minutes, just to get some of that anxiety and to recharge my batteries. So that can be super important. And then the last one is taxes. Taxes tend to be our biggest expenses, and wealthy people understand the tax rules. And if you want to understand the tax rules, I'm not an accountant, but I encourage you to watch my video up here that talks about taxes. I give an example of a family that's making $120,000 a year, and in very simple terms, in very simple tools and techniques, nothing crazy, just right down the fairway tools that your neighbors, your friends are using, but maybe not combining all of them. You can reduce your taxable income by about 1/3. So be sure to watch this video where I talk about that. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and also think about watching this video over here where I talk about the average income for a retiree, and this video down here where I talk about 5 reasons you should consider retiring as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.